How's it going, folks? This is Sheriff back, and I thought I'd give it a shot. Got a little bit of time, a little bit of space here at home. It's evening. I haven't done an evening video in quite a while. So, yeah, thought I'd see how it goes here. Got some records on the floor, been listening to music pretty much exclusively all day. Did some work around here and gotten some new things in. So just going through what I have out here. We'll start with what's playing because I tend to sometimes forget to mention what's playing. Last weekend, my wife went out on the town for dinner and a record store. we had some dinner and went to Rhino, and they had some good stuff there this time. I picked up a few things, and this was one of them: the David Boykin Out-Teched Evidence of Life on Other Planets, Volume 1, on Thrill Jockey. This was recorded in '98, July 3rd, released in '99. The Evidence of Life on Other Planets, Volume 2, there is a Volume 2, but I don't think it's on LP. I think it's just a CD. Yeah, this is excellent. David Boykin, saxophonist there. Nicole Mitchell is on here. I'm guessing it's one of her early recordings on flute. Josh Abrams, bass. Chad Taylor, drums. Glenda Baker, vocals. Some wordless vocals on here. Lawrence Jones, percussion. Yeah, this is side one. Side one is very, just really mellow. The flute is kind of slow and the low tone, and side two, it kicks it into gear a little. The opening track on side two is a song called Conundrum. Yeah, I like that word. I like to try to use that word when I can. It's very monkish, and I love it. I love when current artists, or just, where through the years you hear certain groups and you can hear the monk influence. It just brings a smile to my face because Monk is one of my favorites. And I think he would have liked the word conundrum. The thing about Monk, and I hear it in this song, is he had a way with his music to make awkwardness sound pretty. And that was his whole thing. And yeah, this is excellent. And about 12, 14 years ago, my friend Jim and I were at Amoeba Hollywood, the old place with a jazz room. And at some point we ran into each other, and he showed me, he had this in his hand. And I was like, damn, are you going to get it? He was going to get it. It was a used copy, I remember. And so it's taken this long for me to finally come across it. Yeah, excellent record. David Boykin out of Chicago. This says recorded live. Does it say recorded live? Yeah, in concert, July 17th, 1998, but it doesn't say where. So yeah, again, Thrill Jockey, that's what's on. And that Rhino trip last week with my wife. I got some things. This was in the jazz section. This Kazoo, Time No Longer. Kazoo, what's his last name? Matsui. He plays the bamboo flute. This was only a few bucks, and the cover, I'd never seen this before, and the cover drew my attention. 1981, I looked at it shows the lineup for every song, and there's some guitar players on here. Lee Ritenour, who else? The Lukather guy, whichever Lukather plays guitar. But what stood out to me was Robben Ford is on this. And I thought, this could be interesting. And it's one of these albums, I'm almost positive Chris Cole has a copy or has had a copy. But that's what I thought of in the store. I'm like, you know what? This seems like something Chris would have. So I'm going to get it. Again, it was a few bucks. Yeah, really nice. 1981. It's like a from that era type electric jazz album, and with a bamboo flute. But Robben Ford, the song Robben Ford's on about half, maybe a little more than half of these songs. Yeah, he's a ripper on that. Guitar still 81. Another one, I have a couple of these I haven't listened to yet. Is this Sergei Kuryokin, Polynesia Introduction to the History. And this was also in the jazz section. This is on the Melodia label out of Russia. And this is an actual Russian copy on that label. There were American releases on the Angel, and I have some of those classical stuff. But the thing that made me get this, I mean, I have no idea what this is they put a sticker on the outer sleeve. Free Avant-Garde Jazz 1990, Russia, prepared piano and flutes. I was like, oh, okay, yeah. There's the bag. We'll see how that is. And this on Turnabout, the contemporary composer in the USA, the avant-garde violin, which has compositions by William Seidman, Ilhan Mimargalu, and Robert Hall Lewis. I got it for the Mimargalu. He's the only name I know. I haven't listened to this yet, but yeah, the avant-garde violin. There's a duo for violin and piano. Mimarglu's is violin solo and electromagnetic tape from 1970, and Robert Hall Lewis Sonata for violin solo. Gabriel Banat violin and Zita Carno piano. Big Coltrane fans will probably know Zita Carno. Yeah, there's that. This, I had no idea. I still don't have any idea what it is. It seems like a spoken word album with music by Pierre Henry. And this was a few bucks. Two texts by Claude Pascal, L'Occident est bleu, Michel Vitold, Sylvia Montfort, and music by Pierre Henry. Yeah, another one I haven't listened to. I don't really like to show stuff I haven't listened to yet, but yeah, what the hell. I didn't know what this picture does look familiar. I don't know if this is a famous picture, and they are there. As should be really interesting. And a few weeks before that, again, I was with Alex and Jim came out here, and the three of us met at Rhino. This is probably 7 weeks ago now, and got some things there. I don't have everything out. There was another album on Melodia, this Apto, Vladimir Tarasov. He's a drummer, and this is an all solo drum record, though he's playing more than drums. I mean, he's playing his drum kit, but various small percussion instruments, woodblock, temple block, cowbells, and trumpet. Now, when I listened to this, and the trumpet came in somewhere in the middle. It's all one long composition, Apto 1, Apto 2. When the trumpet came in, because I was thinking, is he overdubbing all this? But then the trumpet came in, and I realized, yeah, no, he's not overdubbing. Because the way the trumpet sounds is like he's got it maybe on a stand or something in front of him, and he's just blowing into the mouthpiece, because it doesn't sound like there are any notes being played. Yeah, and there he is, Vladimir Tarasov. Yeah, really interesting record. Keeps my attention the whole time. And yeah, another one on this Melodia. Yeah, interesting to find these at different times at the same store. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, the Glass House. Oh yeah, here's another one I got on that run with Jim and Alex. Nino Ricardo, Flamenco's para guitar on the Clave label. Yeah, I love flamenco guitar, and this is an excellent one. Is there a year on here? I want to say maybe late 60s, early 70s. Yeah, excellent stuff. And yeah, a while back I was thinking about Joe Chambers. Somehow it kept popping in my head, and I didn't put on his album on Muse, the Alma Vorid. I somehow thought to put on this Blue Note, Bobby Hutcherson, this Components, and I just wanted to hear side 2, because side 2 is all Joe Chambers songs, and Chambers is on drums here. But I listened to side 3 times in a row. 4 songs. Titles are Movement, Juba Dance, Air, and Pastoral. And I was listening to this, there you can see the lineup. I mean, James Spaulding on this, especially his flute playing, is just immaculate. He's so right in there. But these Joe Chambers songs, that side, I was listening to this, and for as long as I've had this record, probably, I mean, this version came out in 94. It's about when I got it, 94, 95. Side 2 always stood out. And I'm listening to it this time, And I'm thinking, okay, if these musicians weren't jazz musicians associated with the jazz scene, that whole side two would be considered like avant-garde, 20th century avant-garde stuff, because it's definitely not jazz. Side one of this is more swinging type jazz, because they're all Hutcherson songs. But the Chambers stuff, like, man, this is one incredible side of really out advanced, well, I don't want to say advanced, avant-garde, you could say, writing and playing. Yeah, really excellent. And when I say out, I don't mean like crazy, frenetic out. It's out in that it's something unusual for the ears, and you can listen to this multiple times and hear completely different things, hear additional things that you didn't hear before. Yeah. Components and patterns also. Chambers plays on patterns and writes about half those songs. That's another one from 68. This is from 65. And then I put on his other Muse album, Double Exposure, with Larry Young. This is from 1978. And if I'm not mistaken, I think this is Larry Young's last recording before he died. And most of this is piano and organ, piano by Chambers, and he gets behind the drums on the last two songs of the album. But he has a song, After the Rain, which isn't Coltrane. It's not credited to Coltrane. Doesn't sound like Coltrane. Which is just Chambers on piano. And man, gorgeous. But the interplay on some of these with the piano and organ, Young plays synthesizer on at least one track. Yeah, one track on side one. Hello to the Wind kicks it off. I think Woody Shaw did that song. Yeah, excellent. Kind of overlooked Muse record. Another one I wouldn't be surprised that Chris has. And let's get to this. Another thing on the run with Alex. The last Glasshouse run. Where is it? Yeah, he put some albums in my hand. And one of them kind of led me to some other things here on my shelf that I forgot about. I'm just going to play side two of this with this conundrum, since I've been talking so much about it. Yeah. He put 3 albums in my hand, maybe. One of them was this, Stephen Scott, new music for bowed piano. And the way it's explained in the liner notes on the insert inside is there's up to 6 pianists playing the inside of the piano, the strings of the piano with a bow, with bows. And that's all that's making the sounds on this record. It makes it a point to say there's no electronics, no synthesizer on this. But what I can't figure out is that picture shows about 5 or 6 people all playing the same piano. I thought maybe it would be different pianos. Yeah, this is really incredible, haunting stuff. Stephen Scott, new music for bowed piano. And one of the other albums he put in my hand is this Elana. And again, this is another one Chris in his last video was talking about, Charles Austin and Joe Gallivan. Elana, Mysterious Planet on the Animal label. This is 1989 with John McMinn also, who plays bass. Synthesizer, tenor sax, and flute. Joe Gallivan plays acoustic and electric percussion, Charles Austin on reeds. And when he gave this to me, I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, again, this was really cheap. I'm like, I know these names, but I didn't make the connection right away at the store. And when I got home, I'm like, how do I know these names, Joe Gallivan and Charles Austin? I'm looking through, it took me a while. Then I finally came across this that I completely forgot I had, but it was also misfiled. It was in my compilations section, which it really shouldn't be. Whoops. Is this Intercontinental Express, Joe Gallivan and Charles Austin, recorded in London on the Compendium label out of Sweden. And you can see the players there, kind of a who's who of the British scene at the time. I think this is it says 1976. I'm pretty sure this was recorded before then. But yeah, this is very mellow, very breezy, atmospheric, but earthy. It's got an 80s production sound to it, but it doesn't hurt it. Let's just say that. Yeah, it's almost like an ambient album, but you have reeds and a little bit of wordless vocals. This probably 10, 15 years before is more of a just jazz affair going on. Elton Dean is on this. Ken Wheeler. You see Charles Austin, Joe Gallivan, Ronnie Scott, Nick Evans. Yeah, this is really nice. I think most of this, I don't know if everybody's on every song, but I think most of this is an octet. And there they are. Compendium has a cool label there. Yeah, they put out some good stuff. But yeah, I'm going to have to put this in its proper place here and get it out of the compilations. What else we got here? Yeah, I was listening to this a lot. I was listening to this morning. It's John Renbourn, Wiz Jones, from 2017, 16. This is just lovely stuff. And this was the last recording Renbourn did before he died. Yeah, these guys go back like 50 years. Wiz Jones stuff is hard to find, but yeah, they're both guitarists. There's some instrumental, some singing. They do a version of Buckets of Rain. Another version, updated version of National 7, Cocaine Blues, Big Bill Broonzy, Hey Hey. Yeah, this is lovely stuff. Just two acoustic guitars. Sometimes it sounds like it's got to be like an amplified acoustic guitar because the touch and the tone is so nice and crisp. And yeah, just again, I use the word immaculate. I think it's Renborn playing most of the leads. Yeah, this is the kind of album I think any time of day, any time of season, it's good to put on and just kind of take it in. Yeah, Wiz Jones seems like a character, and yeah, I love John Renborn. That I was listening to these two as recent as yesterday. I think I listened to this today. This Ronald Shannon Jackson and the Decoding Society on Moors. He's got two out, Nasty and Street Priest. That's the front cover. That's the back. Same rhythm sections, but the horns are different. They're both recorded in '81. This one is March, and this one is June. Look at that. They both have the Rick Ballard stickers. Yeah, these are really great records, man. Vernon Reid is on these on guitar. This one has Charles Brackeen on saxophone and Bayard Lancaster on saxophone, Con Jamal on vibes. This one has Zane Massey on saxophone, Lee Rosie on saxophone, and Vernon Reid again on guitar. These are no piano, no keyboards on these. This one seems a little more, should I say, volatile. It's really jaggedy, really just moves zigzaggy. It's electric bass, electric guitar. His drums are just busy and off the charts. Yeah, great fusion records. And I'm guessing these are cheap. One of these, can't remember which one, I saw recently at the record shop. I think it was $10. These Moors. Yeah, they put out some great albums. Yeah, this one, Vernon Reid, I think his playing stands out more on this than this. I mean, I didn't want to compare all this stuff, but yeah, just two really excellent fusion, jazz, fusion, rock albums. I probably like these two better than the Eye on You. Yeah, Ronald Shannon Jackson out of Texas. Where in Texas? I can't think of it. Yeah, really excellent stuff. Zane Massey and this guy, I don't know Lee Rosie other than the Shannon Jackson albums. Yeah, they go at it hard on the reeds. So you have that. What else have I been listening to here? I got this with Alex at the Glass House Run on the Superfon label out of Czechoslovakia. 1979 with 5 different composers, Ladislav Kubik, Jaroslav Rybar, Vaclav Riedlbach, Ivan Kurz, and Milan Slavicki. And this is all kind of minimal. You have 5 instruments, quintet on one of the tracks. The others are violin, piano, cello, violin, piano, flute, guitar. The first track, 2 inventions, flute and guitar. Yeah, really nice. I mean, these albums like this, I don't pass up. They're cheap most of the time. And yeah, the Superfon label. Musica Nova Bohemica. This I found for my wife. My wife's a big Celia Cruz fan, and I knew she didn't have this. So I got it with Willie Colon, 1977, on the Vaya label. Yeah, I don't know if she's listened to it. I'm not sure why it's still with my stuff. I don't know if she listened to it. I haven't heard it, but I'm imagining it's going to be some killer smoking stuff. Celia Cruz. Oh yeah, the other Joe Gallivan thing is this Larry Young I got last year, I think. Love, Cry, Want. This was recorded at Lafayette Park in 1972, June. It's four guys: Larry Young, Joe Gallivan, Steve Nicholas, and Jimmy Molneri. One of these guys, I think it's Steve Nicholas, plays like a really early version of a guitar synthesizer, which sounds completely mind-boggling. With Larry Young playing the organ, and there's Joe Gallivan, he's playing drums, and this kind of board here. yeah, this was recorded at Lafayette Park, 1972, and the notes talk about how Nixon was in the White House when this protest was going on. Civil rights and anti-war protest was going on at Lafayette Park, and these guys somehow managed to set up and play. And eventually Nixon gave the order to pull the plug on it, and so the show ended. But this, when I listened to this, I was like thinking, if anyone, if you know the Hendrix, the Band of Gypsys Machine Gun from the Fillmore East concert, imagine that for two sides, that energy and just the push and drive of that song with the electricity and the explosions he's getting from his guitar. Yeah, imagine that going on for two sides of a record. It's about 45 minutes. Yeah, amazing stuff. I think this is some kind of limited thing. 146 out of 150. Came out originally with this album cover. I don't know, 15 years ago, something like that. There's that. Yeah, time flies when I do this, man. I don't know if I can say the same for those watching this. Another one I found at Rhino with Jim and Alex. Bengt Hambro, Fresca Sonore and Transfiguration. Yeah, I'd only heard of this guy Hambro. Yeah, this has a lot of clanging and clonking, but it's still really good. When I got this, I didn't pay full attention to the musicians, but when I got it home, I saw on conga is this guy Rupert Clemendor out of Trinidad, and I didn't know he did anything like this kind of music. This was recorded in Sweden. He must have spent some time in Sweden. It says in September '66. This is a record, Le Jazz Primitif, Rupert Clemendor. He's on one side, and he plays drums and vibes, and John Buddy Williams is on the other side. Yeah, this is a really cool album. It's got a very tropical island feel. It's instrumental, jazz. You can kind of see, that picture holding the maracas there. That's kind of, you can imagine what that sounds like. This is what it sounds like. But I've had this for a while, and didn't know he did this kind of stuff. That's kind of out there, the Hambro. So, yeah, we're coming up on 35 minutes. I'm just kind of ringing it in. see if I can get two more. What do I have here? 20th century piano music, John McCabe plays Webern, Schoenberg, Copland, Nielsen, Britten, Rawsthorne, and one of his own compositions. This is a label I've never owned anything on. I don't know if I've ever seen it. It has something to do with the Pie label out of the UK. Golden Guinea. You see the Pie logo up there. Yeah, solo piano, really nice stuff. And you know what, I might as well just leave it at that. I think the side is almost over. Let's go to the end of the side. What else do we have here? Gabor Szabo with Charles Lloyd live at the Troubadour, Hollywood. It came out in '74. It doesn't have a specific recording date. I'm guessing it's either '73 or '74. Really nice. Gabor Szabo, of course. Charles Lloyd plays flute on one song, and that's it for him. You know, I never put this together until I played this last time here. Tony Ortega, flute and echoplex. I never put it together. That's Anthony Ortega, the sax player out of LA. Yeah, the Troubadour, Doug Weston's Troubadour. I went to the Troubadour a couple times. I think one of them was Warrant before they were known. But yeah, Doug Weston, I don't think he's still alive. I remember I was probably 15 and went to a party. My mom used to take me to these parties. She knew people who knew people. She would take me to these parties. And Doug Weston, he was, I guess you could say, a minor celebrity in LA back in the 80s. I mean, he owned the Troubadour. You know, they showed commercials for the Troubadour on local TV. And he had a feature in the newspaper, Los Angeles Magazine, or some local thing. I remember reading that. And he was really into Rolfing. And I read that in that article about him. And it described what Rolfing is, this form of massage. But they really, I think they get into your organs, like really deep into you. And he was at this party, and I recognized him because of this article, and you would see him, I think, in his commercials sometimes. Really tall guy. And I'm 15. I went up to him. I think we were introduced or somehow, and I wanted to ask him about Rolfing. But I was too nervous. I didn't want to bring it up because it just, that whole Rolfing thing kind of freaked me out a little. But I wanted to know more. But yeah, I ended up not bringing it up. So yeah, there's my Doug Weston story to cap it off. That was David Boykin, Outtet. I think this is cheap. When I found this, it was $10. Yeah, really excellent stuff. All right. We'll see what happens. Everyone take care.